Hi, I'm Richard from Drive Green, and today we're going to spend a little bit of time with the Renault Zoe. The Renault Zoe is a long-term bestseller in the used electric car market. I spent a lot of time with the car and a lot of time with its owners, and today I'm going to try and share the benefit of some of that experience with you and help you decide whether maybe the Zoe might be the right electric car for you. The Zoe was an early entrant into the EV market, launched in 2013, and it was designed to be the really approachable and affordable EV at the time. It was an extremely popular EV, becoming the best-selling electric car in Europe, even outselling the mighty Nissan Leaf. Its success can be attributed to its good looks, its easy drive and its affordability, which is at least in part achieved by the battery lease element, which is something that I'll move on to a little bit later in the video. The Zoe is a really pretty little car, designed with a continental flair that was missing from its key competitor at the time, the Nissan Leaf. It has some lovely details. The design of the lights here I think are great, both the front and the rear. It's got an undoubtedly really pretty face, and you've got lovely unbroken lines down the side here leading to these hidden door handles in the rear. It also has a surprisingly big boot for such a compact little car. With continental design flair, of course, comes continental build quality. The Zoe is perhaps not the best made car, however it's not trying to be. You know, it's a standout, personality filled, fun and affordable little car, and it does that brilliantly. The Renault Zoe's design flair sort of extends to its interior. You've got the nice ZE sort of zero emissions sort of logoing and patterning on the dashboard, on the roof of the car, and even on the headrest on the seat. And there's some lovely honeycomb detailing on the speaker cones as well. The Zoe's interior is nice, but it's far from premium. There's lots of plastic everywhere. It was built to be an affordable car at a time when most EVs were beyond a lot of people's financial grasp. There are a couple of things that do bother me a little, however, that suggest a kind of lack of effort in interior design. You've got this great big sort of reflective dash in an area where actually there's nothing going on behind there because it's an electric car. Also, the glove box is so tiny you can barely fit one of your two gloves in it. It can't even accommodate the manual pack for the car. So that's a little bit disappointing. The driver's seat doesn't adjust up and down, which is a shame. However, the steering wheel is nice and adjustable. The Zoe's heating system can also be a little bit lackluster. It's got a heat pump heating system, which obviously makes it very highly efficient and very range friendly. However, it is a bit slow to kind of get going, and it's not perhaps as effective as I find as the heating system on a lot of other EVs. The Zoe, I think, is a great car to drive. It's not pretending to be anything it isn't. It's just a lovely, fun, zippy little car. Whereas many cars go for a comfier cruising experience behind the wheel, the Zoe has a real sense of urgency about it. It's eager, it's zippy, wanting nothing more than to get you where you need to be. The steering's very nimble in a very kind of go-kart kind of fashion. It handles very nicely, corners very well. The weight's nice and low in the car because the battery lives under the seats, and that's where all the weight lives. For a little compact little car, it's surprisingly zippy and enjoyable to drive. The Zoe's driving characteristics really set it up perfectly for around town driving, but that still doesn't stop it performing well on those longer trips, particularly in the bigger battery 40 kilowatt version. Renault have tried to make the Zoe as approachable and simple and familiar a car to drive as possible. All the controls are very intuitive. You've got a regular mechanical handbrake, you've got a gear stick like a normal car. It's only got one sort of drive setting as opposed to the adjustable regen braking settings that are common with most cars. Nice, easy, straightforward, simple car to drive and fun to drive at the same time. Great for darting around town, but at the same time, especially when you're looking at the longer range sort of 40 kilowatt car, it's also a perfectly adequate, perfectly comfortable long range driver too. The Zoe is such an easy car to get on with, and everything is very intuitive and exactly how you would expect it. Although the Zoe is a very straightforward car, it is by no means poorly equipped. The majority of the earlier models from 2013 to 2016 came with a reversing camera and rear sensors, auto lights, auto wipers, cruise control and a speed limiter, climate control and a really good inbuilt media centre and sat nav. In line with Renault's attempts to make the Zoe as simple and straightforward as possible, the sat-nav system in these Zoes is a TomTom. Universally at the time that was kind of considered the simplest system to use, and it really is very easy. Equally, the whole computer and infotainment system is very, very straightforward. If you're looking for an easy to use, familiar, user-friendly car, there is no better EV, I don't think, than the Zoe. It's so simple to just get in and fall in love with. In the earlier models there was a few different spec options to choose, starting with the Expression, which is the base spec model, and to be honest, I would avoid those. It is a low spec car, and for a tiny little bit of extra spend you can get a much better equipped Zoe. The more common model for the 2013 to 2016 period would be the Dynamic Nav or Dynamic Intens model, which has all the spec of this car we're driving now. There is a less common model known as the Zen, which has a paler interior, and it's not so much a lower spec but more of a sideways spec, where they substitute the reversing camera for an outdoor air quality sensor and an inbuilt air freshener. In the 40 kilowatt models, like the one I'm driving now, the reversing camera became an option, and also heated seats became an option as well. DAB is standard across all the 40 kilowatt models. And also at this age, Renault did a signature model, which is a top spec model. It's got a gorgeous leather interior, comes complete with the heated seats, the reversing camera, and it also came with an upgraded Bose sound system. The Zoe comes in two battery sizes between 2013 and 2019. When it was launched in 2013, had a 22 kilowatt hour battery, which at the time delivered around about 80, maybe 90 miles worth of driving range. Renault then tweaked the battery management system and the motor that the car used to increase the range. Still a 22 kilowatt hour battery, however, all of a sudden you could do more 90 to 100 miles worth of driving range. And that change occurred at the end of 2015, so the 65 plates onwards. The compromise that was required as a result to increase that range was the charging time of the car. So the earlier ones, so that's the pre-65 plate models, would rapid charge on an AC rapid charger at twice the speed as the latter ones, which had the higher range. What it would mean would you could pretty much charge a Zoe to almost full with about 30 minutes of charge time on the earlier models, whereas on the latter models it was closer to an hour. On the latter models they did offer a quick charge variant, which basically had the same configuration as the earlier one. They had a smaller range and charged quicker, but they're quite few and far between. Then at the end of 2016, Renault launched the 40 kilowatt model, which at the time was absolutely groundbreaking. You're looking at a 160 mile range car, which at the time was absolutely fantastic. And still even to this day, if you're looking for bang for your bucks, you can't really beat a 40 kilowatt Renault Zoe. Where things get slightly confusing with the Renault Zoe is the fact that you can get the Zoe with a battery lease. What that means is you buy the car, but you pay an ongoing monthly rental charge that's mileage based to cover the cost of the expensive battery element. And this saves a good sort of £5,000 to £6,000 off the cost of the car, which is great when you're buying an EV on a budget, as it makes the car very, very approachable. The disadvantage, of course, is you've got that regular, ongoing, monthly, mileage-based rental charge, which starts at £49 per month. Originally, this was intended to allay people's fears over the long-term life of the batteries in these cars, but as time's gone on, you know, it's been shown that actually that's less of an issue, and these batteries will far outlive anyone's original expectations of them. It's now also possible to buy out your battery lease. So with a Renault Zoe battery lease one at least, you can have the best of both worlds. You can buy the car cheap, pay the ongoing monthly rental charge, and if ever it reaches a point where you wanted to stop paying that monthly rental charge, you can just buy the battery like you would have otherwise had to do at the outset. As you move on to the 40 kilowatt models, it's more common to find a Zoe with an actual owned battery. So if you don't want the battery lease or your mileage is high, then I would seek out a Renault Zoe that already has the battery owned. As far as the long-term health of the Zoe battery goes, Renault aren't stupid. The majority of their batteries out there have got a permanent ongoing warranty, which you get when you lease the battery. So as a result of which, Renault have put a superb battery in your car. So even if you've got a battery-owned version, I don't think you need to worry about any kind of level of concerning degradation at any point. The Zoe is a great little EV, packed full of personality. It's fun to drive and really great value. Whether you're looking for an older Zoe to make a great value, lower range second car, or whether you're looking for a 40 kilowatt model with a long range to do your long distance driving at the best possible price, then the Zoe beats all the cars in this space. It's a lovely looking car and I've got a lot of time for it. So much so, my wife and my son both have a Renault Zoe and they both love it. Well, I hope this video has been useful in helping you learn a little bit more about the Renault Zoe. If you've got any more questions or you'd like to arrange for a test drive, please do get in touch. Thank you ever so much for watching and please be sure to check out our other Renault Zoe videos.